Welcome, everyone, to the latest episode of Rebecca and Rebecca. I'm Rebecca Reed from Indiana, and this is my partner in books, Rebecca Yager from Texas. How you doing, Rebecca?
Hey, doing well. Trying to get ready for the holidays. How about you?
Yes, we're working on that. Yeah, trying to figure out when everybody can show up and all of those good things.
That's good. Um, oh, sorry, I'm going to interrupt our guest. I'm excited by
I
our
was gonna
guest
say it's our
today.
favorite time, right? We love when we have authors on, and we're so excited today to speak to Mindy Obenhaus with our holiday book of the year. And we're really super excited about this. This is their Texas Christmas Redemption. And we read this if you caught the last episode, and now we're ready to chat with Mindy about what's going on. But first, I think we'd like to find out a little more about Mindy just to give you a little introduction. So, Rebecca, if you would do that, please, and
I will,
we'll
but first
into
we
the
can say hi to
conversation.
Mindy and
Well, I
welcome her
guess
to
we
the
could say hi
show,
to
you know.
Mindy. she is our guest and all. I'm so sorry.
Hello.
I'm
Welcome, Mindy. Um, yeah, we are super glad to have you. And I'm outnumbered today. We've got the Texas ladies on in mass here, and this poor little Indiana girl. Although I hear you're from what did you say, Michigan, I guess. So
Yes,
originally she was part of the Midwestern cohort, but
yeah, but she got to Texas as fast as she could.
I did. I did. And
What I was going to share, Mindy, before I do your official bio, and we'll do true confessions that Mindy and I have known each other, I don't know how long, long time,
Mhm.
right? Long time. But talk about the holiday queen. That is Miss Obenhaus up there. Uh, Preps and likes her big family around and
I
always
do.
has treats. And yeah, so we've got the right person here if we want to talk holidays and how to do them. We could,
okay.
do a segment on how to host a holiday gathering with Mindy Obenhaus.
Yeah, I could use some pointers. I am not the best at the
No pressure.
holiday thing. I'll be honest. I like my tree and I'm really good about doing the tree, but after that, yeah, I don't, that's about
Well,
it. And the meal. I like the meal.
Mindy's good with the meal, by the
I
way.
tend to go for that Hallmark look.
Oh. My
And
house tends to look the same year round, except for the tree. I do like the tree. So,
well, Mindy with Hallmark and how appropriate she writes contemporary romance with that kind of feel, I
yeah.
think. All right, Mindy, we're going to read your official bio. Then we'll dive
Okay.
into serious stuff, although we could just say talk holidays if you want to. So, all right. Best-selling author Mindy Obenhaus is passionate about touching readers with biblical truths in an entertaining and sometimes adventurous manner. She lives on a ranch in Texas with her husband, two sassy pups, countless cattle, deer, and the occasional coyote, mountain lion, or snake. I know snakes are her favorite. Ha ha. No. When she's not writing, Mindy enjoys spending time with her grandchildren, and she has at least one great grandchild now. She
Two.
loves to cook and watch heartwarming romance movies. There we go. And you can learn more about Mindy at mindyobenhouse.com. We'll repeat the website later on. So, Mindy, glad you're here.
Thank you for having me. I miss you,
No,
Becky.
I know. Miss you too. So, it's nice to see your face. All right. So I mentioned earlier that I've known you for a long time, but I discovered something about you that I didn't know, and that you were never a reader, which is shocking for writers to
I
never,
know.
because writers are usually readers.
I know. And I can remember going to my one of my first writers meeting and everybody's talking about all these books and I'm just going, the books they grew up reading and I'm just like, yeah, I got nothing. I did not doing that. No, I read what I had to. The only book I remember from my childhood is The Boxcar Children, and that it fascinated me. And that was the only book I read, but I read it multiple times. So it was like every grade when they said I had to do okay prior to junior high, when they said I had to do a report, that was the book I chose. But no, my mom was always an avid, no, more like voracious reader, but I just didn't get that gene, or so I thought,
Mhm.
until she moved in with us. in 2003 and brought all these books with her. And they didn't look like the old Barbara Cartlands that I was used to. And, but started weeding through them because we had to get rid of some. And anyway, some of them intrigued me. And the next thing you know, I was reading and reading and reading.
Well, I read the Boxcar Children. I remember those. I loved those. Those were some of my favorite childhood books. So I appreciate the like for the love of those. I have a lot of people that say they read, the Nancy Drew, and I liked the Boxcar Children. I liked like Trixie Belden. I don't know if you know Trixie Belden, but I liked Trixie Belden too. That was one of my favorites. But my ultimate favorite was the Black Stallion. That was my favorite. So.
No, that's the animal horse lover in you, Rebecca. Yeah. Oh, speaking of sassy pups, Mindy, is Ziva around today,
She
Rebecca?
was around
Rebecca's
just a minute ago. I don't know if she's
Wait,
also.
Ziva, her dog, usually makes an appearance on the show, so just be forewarned.
I made my husband take ours somewhere, and we're now up to three. We inherited a grand pup, so
Oh, th- great. So, okay, back. So once you started reading, you realized there were other voices in your head, so to
I
speak.
did. Okay, blame it on being an only child, So I had imaginary friends that is because you're forced to play by yourself, and so doggone it, when your best friend has four sisters and she can't go anywhere on Christmas Day, and well, you're stuck by yourself, and so and so it goes. But yeah, no, um, I think I was perpetually making up scenarios in my head throughout the years and things that happened. And I don't know, it just, God kind of brought it all together. And I thought, well, maybe I'm not nuts after all. And maybe I can do something with this. And I remember contemplating it for a really long time. Well, I say really long. It was, a few weeks. And I was like, God, I don't know. And I just finally said, the only way I'm going to know is if I put pencil to paper. So that's where it began. And I'll never forget sitting on the sofa one night and watching the TV's on. My husband's watching TV on one end, and I'm on the other end, writing frantically. And he says, "What are you writing over there?" And I said, "A book." And he said, "Oh, okay." And that was kind of that. So then, I mean, I remember going to the bedroom as we're pulling the covers down. He looks at me and he says, "So what are you writing?" So I told him, and he said, "When you're finished, I want to read your first chapter." And so, not when I'm finished. When you finish your first chapter, I want to read it. And so I did, and I let him read. And he took those papers, and he ran off to some corner of the house that I don't know where he went to. And he comes back later, and he looked at me, and he goes, "Where have you been keeping her?"
Oh, oh,
And he's been my biggest cheerleader ever since.
yeah.
That's
He's a
awesome.
good support for you, I know.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's cool. I sympathize with you and the only child. I was also an only child, so I completely understand all the little scenarios and the little stories that you tell yourself and playing games by myself. I remember being all the pieces in the life game and being, and even giving them names and character and like spouses' names and kids' names and all of that. So,
I get it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's fun. Well, y'all want some of my brothers? I'm an only girl. If
You know what?
but you can have
Growing
a
up,
brother or two.
I always wanted an older brother and a younger brother.
Oh, I just got older, so I can't help you with the younger and stuff. And yeah, well, that would have changed everything for you, Mend, if that had happened
Probably.
and stuff. All right, so you started writing that, um, and then, started going to writers' meetings. I mean, how did you start learning the craft?
Yeah, so I finished my first manuscript, which will never see the light of day, and it took me about a year to do that. And then I I was aware of Romance Writers of America through a relative of my husband's, actually. And so I went online, and this was the early days of online, and I found out that they met once a month 2 blocks away from my house. I'm about 4 blocks away from my house. Well, that was a sign. So I decided to go, and I just, immediately felt good. I was with other people who heard voices and, and were making up stories. However, I remember that first meeting, I found out they were having a contest, and so you could bring your first chapter and get a critique on it. Maybe it was that meeting, and I brought my first chapter. And then very soon found out that what I had was a really, really bad first draft.
But they
But
didn't scare
through
you
that,
away.
huh?
They didn't scare you away.
No, it didn't. And through that meeting, I met another gal who told me about American Christian fiction writers. And so I ended up joining that. And of course, that's where we ended up meeting. But yeah, so it kind of snowballed from there. And, I ended up going gung ho into American Christian fiction writers and doing stuff there. And,
When did you get when was your first book published? I remember it, but I don't remember the year now.
you ought to remember it, because when I got those edits, I called you and you came and spent the weekend with me to help me get through them.
Thank you very much. Everyone needs a writing friend. No, I remember all that. I just don't remember the
But
year.
yeah, it was, well, that event when you came over was January of 2013.
Mm, okay. Wow. Wow. And how many have you since? How many have you published?
Let me think.
Sorry,
I
hard
think
question.
I think I'm still under 25. I want to say 20. I think I'm working on my 24th book.
And I say I knew her when. Yes. That's it. So, you write, do you have a regular writing schedule?
I try to. Like I say, it helps that my husband's retired, and so I try to treat it like a job, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, loosely. I can be flexible and stuff. This year has been a really wonky year, though, so everything has been different this year, and
That happens. So,
yeah, it
well,
does.
didn't you have to write two books in a really short amount of time? I mean, shorter
I
than you.
did. Okay, so that was kind of what started it all. Yeah, I had. Do you want to hear the whole saga or
As
abbreviated?
as much as you want to tell us, I guess.
Well, I had submitted a proposal for the next book in my series prior to the holidays, and then heard, well, in the meantime I had a continuity that I was going to be a part of, which was, it's a continuity. So they were doing 4 books, a series of 4 books, and each one's written by a different author. And so I had been invited to be a part of one of those. Well, so after the holidays were out of the way, I'm trying to get rolling on this proposal I had turned in for the one in my series, and it just, nothing was coming. And then my proposal got rejected, and I had nothing, absolutely nothing. I couldn't, I just contemplated and contemplated, and nothing was working for me.
Mm.
I clearly woke up one morning, I was getting very frustrated, and I woke up one morning and I clearly heard God say, put that book aside and work on the continuity. And that was kind of a first for me. And I went, okay. And I did that and was going to let my editor know. And she never responded to my email. Turned out she had pneumonia.
Mm.
And 1 week to the day later, I woke up again and clearly heard God say, go back to the other story. Here's your idea.
Wow.
And so that was like early February. And so, yeah, I wrote that book in my series and finished the continuity, turned in the continuity in May. So, yeah, I wrote 2 books in 3 months, and
Wow.
only by the grace of God.
That's how it is. Rebecca, you seem to be on a writing schedule like that these days as well.
Yes, I have. I've kind of got myself involved in several multi-author projects, and then the deadlines kind of got condensed. So yeah, I've been writing like furiously lately. So
I get it.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Um, Well, Mindy, I know your faith is really important to you as well. So you're a believer in praying over your words, and how has that helped you move forward in some of these struggles?
Well, of course, what I just said, what that was, but that was actually it was, I don't want to say eye-opening, but it helped me to understand that I stop relying so much on myself.
Mm,
And, God's word says, they that wait upon the Lord will renew their strength.
mhm,
Well, I was kind of forced to wait.
mhm,
And I did. I had a renewed vigor. I don't care to go through that again. Um, and yet here I am in the similar thing, although I don't have a continuity. I'm not writing two books at the same time. But this book that I'm currently working on, it took a while to find that sweet spot and me and my editor to come to an agreement. And so I'm just, but the one thing through it all, my mantra was move forward in faith.
I think that's good advice for all authors, anyone in our jobs. Did
Yeah,
you
we
have
could.
something, Rebecca? Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Gonna say it is a struggle sometimes. I mean, I don't all of my books have been indie published, but I do have contracts with some well not they're not written contracts specifically, but like I said, they're multi-author projects. So everybody's counting on the other person, to get their part done. And we recently, with this last book I published, had to move up my timeline because one of the authors, oh, Ziva's here.
There's Ziva. Come on, get on camera, girl.
Hey,
There she is.
hey,
She's a big old dog.
good girl.
Aw.
But one of the authors got became ill and she was in the middle of her edits and she couldn't get her edits done by the time she was supposed to have her book uploaded. So we ended up having to switch really fast and that was kind of a interesting because we were relying on her for the timeline because these books are all at the same time. They're all simultaneous. And so that was tricky, but we got her done. And so her book is coming out here in next week. So, and mine's out and hers will be next week. And then the third one will come out in November. So it worked out. God provided, enough strength for her to get the parts done we had to get done that were all shared. And we were able to do it. But it was a little scary. And I wasn't really prepared because I wasn't planning on launching for a whole nother month. So, that was interesting. But, I've heard so many times, when just people are up against a deadline or anything, and the more we rely on ourselves, the less words we seem to get. And I think you're right. I think we have to really, just invite God into that space and be like, God, I'm ready to write whenever you're ready to give me the inspiration. And that's when we do our best work, I feel like, as Christian authors. So,
I agree. His words are much better than mine.
yeah.
Absolutely. All right. I guess we should talk about this book since we're in the holiday season. It's their Texas Christmas Redemption, and it's Legacy Ranch, book number two. Book number one is An Unexpected Companion, but I really liked this story. Mindy, you write contemporary romance, so you always think of, boy meets girl, that kind of thing. But this book is about um, a divorced couple
Yes.
coming back
Yes, that was
together.
kind of a change.
I liked that though. It was a nice twist on the
It was
uh,
kind of fun to write too,
to have
because
a
you
reunion.
have, they knew each other intimately, but yet they didn't really know each other. Or, I mean, they thought they did. And so they have their preconceived notions, and it's been 3 years, and then we tend to, and sometimes, we do that in real life, we remember somebody the way they were,
Mhm,
and we run into them later and we just assume they're the same way.
mhm.
Praise God, I am not the same person I was, you know, 10, 20, 30 years ago.
Sure. I hope we all grow and change and learn as life you know.
Exactly. And yet we
Um,
pigeonhole others.
oh, and it's true because you do. You have that. Well, it's like like when I haven't seen your kids or your grandkids in a while, and now yeah, you have them pictured that little, and they're big. Um,
Ayla's graduated, by the way.
I was gonna ask, but I didn't want to know. Ayla was this cute little 4-year-old when she was around, and now she's tiny. Yeah. And I will always remember her as the cute little 4-year-old. Anyway, all right. So we have Audrey and Tyler. So what inspired you to do this, I don't know, twist on a contemporary romance with the divorced couple?
I honestly don't know.
Okay. Fair answer.
I don't, I've slept since then. I can't remember everything, you know? But it was, I don't know, it probably, it usually starts with a nugget, the what if,
Hmm.
you know, what if, and then I go, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? Well, her ex-husband shows up on her doorstep with a baby, something they were not able to have. And so, the what ifs always tend to propel things.
Well, and Willow was she was so cute. I mean, she just added a lot to the story, I felt like, with all there's always complications when a baby's involved. And so, um, is it hard for you? Now, you wrote a dog story before that, right? So,
Yes.
um, I find I've only written a couple stories with animals like the small kind. I usually do like bigger ones like horses where you're leading them around and so you don't lose track of them. When I wrote the dog story, I kept losing track of my dog and having to go find out where I left this dog. Was that ever an issue with the baby? Did you have to kind of like make sure, you were keeping track of where the baby was and what the baby was doing and, as you went through?
Yeah, I know there were times when it was like, oh, where's Willow in this scene, And so I had to figure that out. And but it was usually either one of them had to be taking care of her
Hmm.
at one point, due to depending whose POV I was in, but yeah, it was. I never lost track of her, but had
But
to
you have
make
to
sure she was on the page.
yeah,
Yeah.
keep track of her. Speaking of POVs, I have to tell you, you really did well with Tyler's POV, I thought. I really got into his side of the story and his thoughts and I thought you did that really, really well.
Yeah, we're gonna call that a God thing.
No, you have raised sons and you have a husband around. I know you could, but it was just, I liked his side of the story a lot. And how he's trying to prove, okay, I've changed. Like, Audrey is still pigeonholing him in a sense. So how do you prove that you've changed? You
Well,
know?
and his change or transformation, came. Neither one of them were believers when they were married,
Mhm.
and so he had his preconceived notions of her as well. But yeah, he'd been locked up pretty tight while they were married, and so there was a whole lot about him that she didn't know.
Mhm. A
Yeah.
little bit both ways on that. They both kept their
And so I
secrets
knew I had to make
together.
him vulnerable
Yeah,
to tell her, before he would let those things out.
right, right. So,
Yeah, because he had several reveals, really, because like you said, there were a lot of things that she didn't know about him, and those all had to come out um, before she could really love him, because she was loving somebody that she didn't, it wasn't the right, real Tyler that she was in
Right.
love with to begin with, I feel like. And so,
mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm. Good point. All right, Rebecca, our favorite thing to talk about in stories are always the side
I was
characters.
waiting for this one.
Go. What, Aunt D? You want to talk about
Of
Aunt D?
course. I loved Aunt D. Aunt D was awesome. I mean, she's just she's that ranch woman. She's out there every morning doing who knows what, according to Audrey. And just such a strong woman. But I loved how you brought in the vulnerable side of her as well, and having um the visitor toward the end and all of that that comes in because we get a tiny hint that something had gone on because they talk about I don't know they were talking about the ranch hand or something and Audrey thought something was going on and just the way you ended up bringing that around. I don't want to give any spoilers or anything, but I really just enjoyed seeing this all put together, super strong, very important woman in Audrey's and Tessa's life have that moment where it's like, what if I had done this instead? And I really, really like that.
That was fun to write. It really was. And I knew going into it, I suspected that she was going to find romance of some sort. I just had no idea when I started the series how it was going to go.
Mm.
And it just kind of presented itself in there. And I went, oh,
Fun
Yep.
surprises when you find it, like you realize, oh, that's what happened. Get excited.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, Rebecca, you mentioned Tessa, and Tessa is Audrey's sister. And she is the focus of book number one in this
she is.
series,
It
with
was.
Dirk, who's in this story as well, and the son. So, but what I really liked, though, Mindy, and so don't shoot me, I hadn't read the first book in the series, but book two still stood on its own so well. And yet, you can almost tell, oh, there's more to the story with Tessa and Dirk. So it made me want to go look. Is there, this is book two. What's book one about? And so the way you have the characters drawn in this story of Tessa and Dirk made me curious. So it was well done. It doesn't always have to be book one leading to book two. Maybe book two can lead back to book one.
Yeah.
And now I'm currently working on book four, which is Meredith's story. And that one is quite the surprise for me.
Oh,
It's not exactly what I thought it was going to be. What I mean, it kind of did, because I mean, obviously, when I proposed these, I don't know how many years ago, two or three, and so when things are deviating, and God says, "Go this way," and I went, "Okay, what do we do now?"
Who's book three? Is it Kendall?
Book three was Kendall's story, and that one will be out on my birthday, February 24th.
Ooh.
And that one has my most favorite cover I have ever had. It's called, what is it called? A Texas Easter Blessing. And they nailed it. They got the cute little boy, they got the blue bonnets, they got the horses. Becky, you're going to feel like you're back in Brenham when you see the cover.
Well, you know I loved all the mentions of Brenham in this story and stuff, as I used to live there, and so it's always fun to bring that Texas in. Well, good. Yeah, I can't. Well, Easter blessing, there's got to be bluebonnets somewhere on the cover then, isn't
That's
there?
what, and well, and I have to be careful because the cover designers are in Canada, and they may know what bluebonnets are, but they don't know when they're in season.
Yeah,
And don't give me a book set in September with bluebonnets on the cover because that's just false advertising.
right.
We Texans are kind of take our bluebonnet seriously, and so I told them I said, "You're allowed to use bluebonnets on this." So halfway expected to get a cover with no bluebonnets. So I was very pleased when I got it. You know what? No, I don't have one printed out. I can't show
Yeah,
you. I don't have one. If I could, I'd hold it up.
it's all right. Is it on your social media or by the time this
um,
airs in
I
in
don't know if I
November?
showed it. I don't know if it's on there or not.
Oh,
But I know you can, if you go to Amazon and just look up a Texas Easter Blessing, you will see it.
great. Well, I'll post it up on this video. So we'll be showing it as we're talking about it here. So,
Yeah.
all right. So Kindle got the third book, and that comes out in February. So when does Meredith's story come out? I know you told me.
Meredith's is a Christmas story for next year.
Oh,
It'll be
good.
out next year.
So nice
I can't
holiday.
tell you which month, but
Yeah, but it's the Christmas one. Very
yes.
good.
Just doing weird things back here. So
That's what dogs do.
what are you doing?
Ziva.
She's
Mhm.
over there pawing at things, and it's like
Well,
she
what do you
ate,
have
so
over
I don't
there,
know. I don't know.
Rebecca?
She already ate. I don't understand what she
So
wants.
that's
Yes.
good.
All right.
Um, Mindy, I know you've written contemporary romance your whole career, you have any other desire to write in any other genres, or you just romance?
Just romance. I don't, I, no, unless God lays something on my heart, no, unless he says go over here, oh yeah, but I'm open to it, but no,
Mhm.
I don't feel led. I like contemporary romance and
And well, it sounds like you're keeping busy here with book three already to ready to go. Already ready to go. That's a
Ready,
lot of
ready.
readies. Writing book four.
it's in the queue.
Yes.
Book three is in the queue.
Very good. And then book four you're writing. And then do you
That
have a
is
new
the last book
series?
in my
Okay.
contract, and I already have ideas churning for a new series.
A new series. Okay. And any hints?
Mm,
Nothing yet? Okay. Ideas churning.
It's not quite gelled yet.
Okay. Well, good. Well, anyway, for the holidays right now, and to me, the world's a little chaotic. I don't know how y'all feel. So this is a very nice um, Christmas story, but I like it. It's a story of second chances, and it's a story of forgiveness, which is needed so much healing needed right now, and of family, what family's all about, and how it
Mhm.
comes together. So, and then leaves on a very hopeful sign. So, if you are in need of a book like this,
Yeah.
yeah, Rebecca, any other thoughts on that?
I just think it's a very, if you want uplifting, you want hopeful, there's a baby that's adorable, you've got lots of Christmas, lots and lots of Christmas, but lots of healing, like you said, lots of authentic, sharing between this couple as they're getting together. And it just shows you that, the world doesn't have to be filled with hate. The world can be blessings and things too, because there's a lot of things that they do for other people. There's a lot of people doing things for people in this book.
Mm.
Um, it's a lot of selflessness, I guess, maybe is a good way to look at it. And I like the tone of it. I like the way
Mhm.
it's a nice, easy read. There's nothing that's going to weigh you down. You're going to feel Christmas spirit, and you're going to feel that that just uplifting feeling of two people getting together the way they should have the first time.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we said in the review. I guess we're repeating ourselves, but we like that.
Yeah.
I like those
Okay.
themes.
Not everybody sees them all, every episode. So if you've seen it, I'm sorry. It's true though. That's exactly, that's the kind of book it is. And that's why we do Christmas books, because we want people to get in the Christmas spirit. We want to feel that really nice, kind of, what is the season all about? And this book does a great job of sharing God's love here, and how it should be expressed between other people. So.
Thank you.
There you go. Well done, Mindy. Well, and as I said, since she's such a queen of Christmas herself, I know that shines through.
I may have channeled myself when Audrey was getting into it.
I thought about that, but
You did do a very, like the whole shopping online thing and, getting like, okay, where else can we decorate on this ranch? Like, let's get it all. I like that. I like the lights. I like the whole event too that was there with the church and the Christmas under the stars. That was really cool. So,
Well, and the book I'm writing right now, a lot of that is going to be revisited, except um, Meredith has inherited some things from Audrey, a to-do list from Audrey, and Meredith is like, "Yeah, I have a 4 foot pre-lit tree. I have no idea what to do." So
we get to see it from the other viewpoint, the person who's not the Christmas guru.
exactly,
Okay, that could be
exactly.
fun. Yeah.
yeah, that will be fun.
That would be me. So you can channel me in this as well here.
Hey, you got lights on the wall behind you.
I do. I keep them up all the time. I love twinkle lights. That's why I
I
said
do
that
too.
the lights, the under the stars with all the light. That was me. I lights, yes. My Christmas tree has tons of lights. I just don't decorate like other pieces of the house. I don't do all that. but I love my lights and my tree. So, yes.
Yeah. Very good, very good. All right, Mindy, give us your website address, how people can get in touch with you, get involved with your newsletter so they can know when these next books are coming out, all that
Yeah,
good
just go
stuff.
to MindyObenhaus.com. And the hardest part is spelling Obenhaus, Obenhaus. Um, and then, yeah, just click on the newsletter tab and sign up for my newsletter. And I have a lot of giveaways and just book information and just my own random thoughts that come out on the page. And
Which is always a little scary. No.
yeah, I know. She knows me well, folks.
I do. All good. And then, meanwhile, if you haven't picked up their Texas Christmas Redemption, I don't know why I can't say it. Thank you, ma'am. There's
There it
that book
is.
cover and stuff. No, pick it up today and enjoy this. It'll get you in the Christmas spirit for sure. And then look for Mindy's other books as we go along. So, Mindy, thank you so much for taking the time to be
Welcome.
here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we appreciate it. We are busy planning December and our coming up year, Rebecca, and I think it's going to be an exciting one. So
Yeah.
keep an eye on
Got
all our social media
some
for,
surprises for you,
yeah,
hopefully, that
yeah.
we're gonna roll out. We can get
Yeah.
ourselves under organized, you know.
Yes, yes, day jobs, things that get in the way
Yeah.
of what we want to do here. But stay tuned. So you can find us at RebeccaandRebecca.com, Rebecca and Rebecca Reviews on Instagram. We have a Facebook page, like a YouTube channel, Spotify, anywhere you get podcasts, all that good stuff. You can find us, but you can go to RebeccaandRebecca.com and find all the links
Yes.
there.
We hope to see you the next episode. And yeah, we're really excited. Thanks again, Mindy, for being here. We really enjoyed chatting with you. I enjoyed meeting you. So it's
It
my
was
first
nice to
time,
meet you.
even though, yes, you guys have known each other, but this is my first time meeting you. So it's been a pleasure. And until next time,
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks for being here.
bye.